Hello again. It is Winged Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Right on our strength. Talking sprint car racing. Our favorite time of the week. Oh, man, I'm so fired up. I'm so pumped up. Wait a minute. What's going on? Wait a minute. I'm hearing myself. I feel like I'm in one of those old Kung Fu movies.
Too
where
many
my lips,
postmans. Too
yes,
many postmans.
my lips are not moving. We have got a delay, Kreger. We've got a delay, okay? Yes. Yeah, well, I don't know because we're still delayed. We've got a delay that's probably 15 seconds.
Oh, wow. It's a lot. And again.
Yeah, and again, and again. Hello, 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 hello. This ought to be really good.
I'm going to have to pull this.
Oh, boy. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let them, I'm going to take my earpiece out.
Yeah,
I'm going to take my earpiece
it's
out,
a
yes.
lot.
There's a lot of postman going on in our ears because now that I did that echo thing, it's like...
I just heard the intro like 6 times.
Yeah, it's like I'm singing in the round to myself, yes. Exactly. So, Erin Evernham and Steve Post here, and we have got a great program for you. We're so glad that you have joined us. And how are you? How's everything in your world?
I'm good. I mean,
now
other
that
than
we got rid of that,
other than hearing a lot of you.
Well, that's like every woman's nightmare right there. Hearing a lot of the postmen. That's a lot. That's a little.
So I'm better now that my earpiece.
Yes, we took our earpieces out. A little goes a long way. A lot just puts everyone right over the edge. So they are working on it. I'm fairly confident. I'd pull the earpiece up to find out, but I'm confident because I know Kreger's at the helm and it'll all be good. So by the time we get to the end of the break, we'll have it all figured out. So we are just talking sprint car racing and having the time of our life. And we have got Greg Wilson and Lance Dewease, just two of our all-time favorites.
They are, really.
Oh, my gosh. This is great. This is like just friends, just sitting around talking. So it is great. It is fantastic. Let's get to our Hefty Racing product hot topics. Sheldon Haudenschild won Friday night at Magnolia, a really, really good race.
Yeah.
And Saturday night at the Rev, did you watch this thing?
I did.
Was that not the most insane thing on the planet?
It was one of the best World of Outlaw races I've seen in a while. And the races last year, and even this year, have been really good. But that race was, I mean, those sliders and the lead changes.
So I was at my hotel in Phoenix, okay, and I made some orange chicken. You know, rice.
In the hotel?
Yeah, in the hotel. I
Wow.
found a kit sort of thing at a little grocery store, and
Fancy.
I'm like, well, we'll try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was really good. Okay, so I'm going through the process of getting that together and everything else, and I saw on Twitter that the dash was done and the late model feature was on and everything, so I knew I was in good shape. Literally, the orange chicken was done, popped onto Dirt Vision, the 4-wide salute. I'm like,
timing.
Are you kidding me? I mean, this is great. Well, Gravel and Sweet get going, and I jump up and down, and the next thing you know, I clip my finger, and I about sent orange chicken and rice all over the hotel room.
Did you really, or did you
save
it?
I clipped it one time when I was like, oh, no.
I mean, that could have been a catastrophe.
I was sitting there, and I had like my hand, like, and it must be under the lip, and it just clipped it, and I'm like, oh.
Don't mess with the orange chicken.
You don't mess with my orange chicken. Now, you can have a great World of Outlaw race. Carter and all you guys over there have all the great races you want, but if you mess with my orange chicken...
You mess with your food.
You mess with my food.
Period.
Of course, I was the clumsy one that clipped it, and I'm like, that'd have been a big mess, because that race was insane.
It was.
I mean, I thought there was 2 or 3 times I'm like, oh, David's got this one. No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
And there's 2 or 3 times it's like, okay, Brad's got this thing won.
I thought, honestly, both of those racetracks produced.
They were
really
great.
good.
Both of them were, yeah.
I mean, the size, the preparation.
Oh, my. And they're 2 new tracks.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be new for long. I mean,
and based off the crowd there.
Oh, my gosh. Did you hear that? Yeah. Oh, it was great. So World of Outlaws are rolling and on back into that mode that we saw last year of knocking it out of the ballpark every time.
Yeah.
I mean, a bad night with the World of Outlaws is a great race that you're going to see. You know, I mean, they're just, and I think it goes to this level of competition.
Yeah, and there's not been a repeat winner yet.
No, there's not. That's not going to last long, though.
No, it's not.
Because there's 7 or 8 that are not going to sit at 1 win.
Correct.
Now, there's still a couple that haven't got their first one yet.
That says a lot.
That says, oh, it's great.
That we're this far.
Oh, my gosh, it's awesome. It really is. But that race at the Rev, holy cow. That was some good stuff. Central Pennsylvania, More of the same, even though it's a new season. The fabulous Lincoln Speed. Okay, this one here. Now, before we did the Xfinity race, I watched this. Danny Dietrich was third when I had to turn Flow Racing off. And then later in the day, I found out and I didn't really think Danny was going anywhere.
Yeah.
He had advanced. He started deep in the field. He started 16th or 18th, and he got to third, and it looked like that's where he was at.
Yep.
And then I find out later on he won the race, which that's Danny. He's that good. This number just shocks me. He has 55 wins at Lincoln. He is a young man.
Yeah, he is young for 55 wins at one race.
Now, Lincoln runs a lot of races. Fred Raymer, I think, has 169. So, but
Fred's career was...
Right, exactly. A lot longer than, Danny's first win was in 2009 there. Wow. So he has 55 wins in 11 seasons. That's when you're averaging 5 a year. You're clicking them off at a really good pace. So that was cool. Up at the Speed Palace, Port Royal, Lance Dewease. Well, I'll see your 55. Well, Lance has been doing it longer again. We're going to talk to him. 116 wins there. Isn't that stupid? That is
incredible.
I mean, that's just like, and that's, there are 99, and I'm not running the math, and if one of you stat nerds want to run the math, I'll bet you less than 1% of every race car driver has 116 wins.
I would agree with that. Yeah. That's a lot
and
of
he has
wins.
that at one track. He's also had a little success at some other places too.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, and here's what I like about that. In Pennsylvania, combined 59 cars between the two tracks.
Healthy, yeah.
That's a good start. Now, love y'all to death in Pennsylvania. And they'll have some races up there. I hope we find a good balance where we're not just flogging everybody with racing. I mean, I know the Beer Hill gang wants racing 7 nights a week. The teams, what happens is, now we're off to a really good start with the 59 cars. That's a great start. Yeah. What happens is they start throwing Thursday races and Sunday races and Tuesday races and this, that, and the other thing, and then Speedway. And then we start to get to that point. But I like the start.
Yeah.
And it seems like they found a pretty good balance with everybody. But and I get it. Selinsgrove wants races, Babs wants races, Pat's Valley wants races, Grandview wants races. They all want races.
It's great for the fans.
Great for the fans. I love where we're at in Pennsylvania. Come back on Sunday, and Fast Freddie Raymer picks up the win. The 2-time champ.
Yeah, so, and Brandon finished right up there,
Brandon,
too.
Yeah, Brandon, yeah.
It's a good day for the Raymer brothers.
Yeah, good day for the Raymer brothers. So while we have a new season in Pennsylvania, Dietrich, Deweese, and Raymer. Some things never change.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the way. Good racers are going to win the races. Mm-hmm. Good teams are going to do well, and that's what you have there in Pennsylvania with those three and some other ones. There's good cars up there. Okay, now I watched the heat races of this. The King of the Wing 360s out at Keller Auto Speedway, 56 cars. How about that? At Peter Murphy's place. Peter Murphy. Okay. Dominic Scelzi picked up the win. Listen to this podium. Dominic Scelzi, Austin McCarl, and Darren Pittman. Who saw that podium? Who went to Vegas and said, I'm going to go with that podium?
In California.
Yeah.
In a 360 race in California.
A 360 race in California, we're going with a Scelzi, a McCarl, and a Pittman on the podium. I just think it's great. I think that California is bursting. It's ready to go. We're going to talk to Dominic on our podcast on Thursday to see if he believes it's bursting.
Well, to what you said, we had Jeremy Elliott on our podcast last week, and he gave a big shout out to California. I mean, I know he's talking about youngsters, but obviously that's where it starts.
Well, and there was 56 of those 360s, and Marysville ran.
And they had such a horrible year last year. It's like they're busting at the seams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because Marysville ran. I think someone else, Placerville, I think, had a test day too. So, the 360 world is healthy, and King of the West starts this week. It's going to be fun to see. So, Greg Wilson picked up the win with USCS. We're going to talk to Greg on the program. He's our Hercules Tires bud. Okay, ASCS Southwest Region. Here's a name, Seth Bergman. We had Seth on the national tour 2 years ago, and then he took some time to develop a family business. I think he's in the coffee shop business, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, him and his wife have a coffee shop, and it was just like we needed to focus on this. Well, and then all of a sudden you hear, he picked up a ride here. You know how racers are. Yeah, I'm going to step away. Yeah, well, we'll see in a couple months. You know, and now Seth Bergman is stepping away, and now he's winning. He won a regional race. And I need to give a shout out to our friends, the Carolina Sprint Tour, 34 305 sprinters at Fayetteville. How about that? Really, really cool. Justin Clark, a racer out of Ohio, won on Friday night. Sean Vardell, the reigning champ of the Carolina Sprint Tour, won on Saturday night, $1,900. And from all accounts, the racing was good. The fans loved it, but the 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. time period was spectacular. Someone found a mini bike. Oh, yeah, exactly. Mini bikes and
at those hours.
At those hours, yeah. And so they had some kind of a buggy or trailer that they might have seen lined up, and the next thing there's jumping and ramping and hooting and hollering and. The last count I had is 3 or 4 beers were consumed by the group of them too. Yes. So neat stuff.
On average.
That's for sure. So shout out to our friends at the Carolina Sprint Tour. There you have it, our Hefner Racing products. Hot tips or hot topics. HRP loves karting. From sprint to road racing to winged outlaw karts, HRP Street or Super Stands are the #1 selling brand for karting. And they have an automatic electric lift, rolling stand stacker to carry multiple carts.
And just like sprint cars, HRP has tire racks, engine racks, speed breakers, and a whole line of kart racing accessories. www.hrpracing.com.
Talking about that race at Rev, let's take a listen to it and a look to it. It was Brad Sweet. It was David Gravel, the World of Outlaw, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. Johnny Gibson with the call here on Dirt Vision.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
David Gravel, Brad Sweet in the traffic down the front stretch with 4 laps to go. Sweet to the outside. Brad Sweet takes the lead once again. Gravel again looking to the inside in 3 and 4. There will be 3 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line, and David Gravel back in the lead.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
For decades, Dryden Lubricants has been made in America and made to last, paving the way on our highways, in our fields, and on the production line. Today, Dryden offers a complete line of engine oils, greases, hydraulic and transmission fluids, and diesel exhaust fluid. If you want greater performance and protection for your critical engines and equipment, go to Dryden.com. Dryden, American owned and operated, and a proud supporter of racing and race fans everywhere. Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. Well, riding on our strength, riding on Hercules' strength was Greg Wilson. How about that? He rolled it down there to the North Alabama Speedway. Okay, it was the USCS Shoals Shootout. You know, the USCS, the Mark Smith series. Yeah. Not that night.
No.
Not that night. Because our man from Benton Ridge, Ohio, took it to him and picked up the win. He joins us on the, what hotline is this? I get Dryden hotline. He drives us on the Dryden. I get all of our hotlines mixed up. He joins us on the Dryden hotline. Our Hercules Tires friend, Greg Wilson's on the line. Hello, Greg. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hi, guys. Hey, thanks for having us. That was a much needed night for my team and probably more so my family. So pretty cool.
There are a lot of reasons that it was cool. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Mark Smith's win count now because it's only going to be like 22 as opposed to 23, though. You took it off from Mark Smith.
Well, you know, I was telling some people back home that, you know, it was kind of funny because my oldest daughter, Lily, she was on me all night not to mess with the race car after hot laps, which she normally doesn't say a lot. And to be honest, sometimes I wonder if she even pays attention. And she come down after hot laps and she's like, Dad, what do you think about the car? And I'm like, I think we're okay. And she's like, no, Dad, I think you're good. So basically, shortening this up, all night long, she said, don't touch it. And I said, well, we really don't know how good we are until we race against Mark Smith. And so you know, to get to the feature and to be able to race, I mean, the fans, it was a packed house. Hats off to North Alabama Speedway and USCS for filling that place up. But the fans got a heck of a show, and we were fortunate to drive around Mark for the win. And so you know you're pretty good. I mean, he wins everything, and you know, was pretty proud of that, and so much respect for him. He was, other than Danny Smith, he was the first one to the car when we got back to the trailer, and had a lot of words, kind words to say, and we become friends, and you know, a lot of respect goes back and forth between me and Mark, and you know, an honor to beat him.
Greg, it seemed like such an emotional victory lane, and then to see Twitter and social media blow up with people congratulating you from every form of motorsports, not even just sprint cars. What does that mean to you to have so much support from people behind, like from everywhere, really?
Man, I get choked up talking about it now. I love what I do.
Yeah.
And we work really hard to represent Hercules Tire, Ohio Logistics, D&T Hydraulics, now Lubbock Wrecker Service, and all the people. You know, we got Ryder Racing Engines. Their first win with us is being part of our team, and we try to do the best we can do, not only to represent the people, but to you know, to enjoy what we do, and to get all the response that we did and that we have this week. I mean, it makes me emotional. I mean, like I said, I love people. I love racing people, and our family, on both sides of my family, went through a pretty rough time last month. We lost my Aunt June, Bob Hampshire's wife, and then turn around now I lost my stepmother, which was a huge part of the beginning of my career. And to watch what my dad's going through and to be as tough as he's been, to be honest with you, it kind of caught me off guard. You know, it's a side of him that I, you know, my dad's always been supportive or whatever, and my family's been close. My mom, my stepmother, and my dad did a hell of a job raising us kids, and to see what he's going through and how he's held up and what he's taught us through this, man, I just amazement. And then to turn around and to go win a race the very next week, you know, it's just great for my family. I mean, the big guy upstairs has a way of putting life in perspective, and you know, I have a lot of faith in that. You know, I'm not perfect by no means, but I have a lot of faith in that, and it just has a way of working itself out. And all the outpouring of people, and I've said this on Twitter yesterday, I have no words of explaining how I feel right now and how my family feels from all the outpouring of race fans and people across the country. It's just amazing.
It really is. I was like Erin. I was impressed with that, and I understand the meeting with Jackie, your stepmother, losing her and everything. I want to bring it even a little bit more immediate. Your wife Mackenzie and your girls know the struggle. They know the challenges, and they've stood at that trailer so many nights when it didn't go the way you want. What was it like for the four of you?
Well, I mean, it was huge. I couldn't help but cry in Victory Lane just because
Yeah.
my three girls were standing there, and you know, Matt Frisbee has been with me for 4 years, and I guess the way I was raised and taught, I don't pass out a lot of compliments, and because I feel like you have to earn them, and you got to work harder to improve. And you know, he's stuck right there, so he's part of our family, and to have my three girls and Matt stand there and they know what we've been through, but what I've been through the last week. You know, I did the hardest thing away from racing. I did the hardest thing I ever had to do. My family asked me to speak at the funeral and give the eulogy and everything, which is, you know, it made it was super tough. You know, to sit there and talk about the things that I needed to talk about, and I realized that my faith, the way I was raised, never giving up, and you know, it's spilling over to my family, and I got to see it firsthand. And the coolest part for me so far was my girls have made a lot of friends across the country with a lot of kids their age, and to hear them on Sunday talking on the phone as I was driving down the road to a Hercules Tire event yesterday was so cool. To hear them say, "Yeah, my dad won," and to hear how proud they were. You know, you have to cherish those moments, because in racing it's tough. You know, there are no give me's, and I don't care what form of racing, that whether it's go-karts to NASCAR to F1 to World Outlaw Sprint Cars to USCS, I don't care where you go, it's not easy. And so you got to cherish those moments, and that's still what we're doing as a family right now, being appreciative of those particular moments.
As you should. And the Tire Store Tour of America continued. You were in, I believe, Woodruff, South Carolina yesterday. That had to be pretty neat, going to a tire store appearance, one of your Hercules dealers, after winning on Saturday night. That was probably a pretty cool moment as well, because that's such an important part of what you do.
Yeah, and you know, we're so lucky to be, Wing Nation and you know, our race team, to be involved with such a great company.
Yep.
You know, they've stuck behind us, believed in racing, believed in the racing community, and believed in our team, and to be able to give back and go to a dealer visit after a victory was pretty cool. And Waters Tire, they have their own race car, so they get it. We had a lot of discussion yesterday about the struggles of racing, and you know, it's unfortunately, I mean, racing a lot of times is a lot more downs than it is up, so you gotta really enjoy those upswings. And you know, at Alabama, we did one last Thursday at Tires and More in Russellville, Alabama, and fortunately they got to make it to the race on Saturday and be a huge part of it. And you know, it was nice to be able to include some of the people that make it happen for our team and for Hercules Tire. And you know, like I said, I've told you guys a million times, I feel like I'm just, you know, fortunate and blessed, and we work hard to make our partners proud, and it's nice to give them the opportunities to smile about their race team a little bit.
Well, you certainly give them opportunities to smile, not just with the win, but just with the person that you are. Greg, you know, on a lighter note, speaking of family, you've talked about having the family on the road with you the last few years, but I saw some cool pictures of you at the beach with them, at Captain Jack's. What is it like to be able to be on the road with them, even in the hard times?
Well, I mean, you know, it's awesome. I mean, it isn't always easy. I mean, kids are kids, and they're getting at the age, you know, they bicker back and forth a little more. They're running around with boys at the racetrack. I mean, that isn't nothing that a dad likes. But, you know, it's such a, you know, I feel like that so many people try to figure out how to make life good and what they want. And, you know, we hit it head on every day. And so we're fortunate to get to do those things. And there's times when you overlook how, you know, the good of things when the kids are fighting or whatever. But when you look back on it, you think about all the things that we get to do and see as a family. You know, I have no other words than I'm appreciative and grateful for it. I mean, like I've told you guys before, I haven't always been that way, but life changes and it opens your eyes up a little bit. And you know, to have my wife and my girls out on the road with us. And I mean, we actually drove back to Captain Jack's. We just pulled in the driveway just a little bit ago, and you know, to get those moments and share them. I mean, you know, I hope as they get older that they look back and think, man, our life on the road was pretty darn cool. You know, they miss a lot of things at home. We've tried to intertwine that a little bit more as they've gotten older. We got them into basketball and things like that over the winter time, so they can have a little normalcy to life too. But you know, it's awesome.
Here's the thing. Your daughters, and this is something that no kid will ever be able to top them at show and tell. Your daughters are friends with Jason Sides and Danny Smith. Okay? There's not a show and tell on the planet that's ever been any better than that. Now, it is.
I hope they don't bring them in for show and tell.
No, I'm not sure you want to bring. Yeah, now you might leave.
It would be entertaining if they did. I guarantee you that.
Greg, the era when Jason was the babysitter for the Wilsons is just, like, to me, one of my favorite stories in the history of sprint car racing, because I know while on the surface that sounds like a horrible idea. In reality, that's the best idea on the planet, because we all know Jason so well, and Paul. But Greg, you said you headed back to Captain Jack's. What's the immediate plan here the next few weeks, and what's the overall plan as you start to look at 2021?
Well, I'm not one for mincing words, but I actually had to come back. I've been having some problems with my back, actually. So apparently about 15 minutes from Captain Jack's is some of the best people in the world that you want to have check out your back, and nothing major. It's just after talking to, my buddy Tony Stewart and a few other racers, Danny Smith and family and friends that have had issues, I feel like that it's in my best interest to be checked out and get fixed up, because this would be the proper time to do it as far as the way the schedule goes. Now, after we have an appointment tomorrow, I'll have a better idea, and hopefully they can give me a plan to get me through till the fall, and then we can go racing in Loxley, Alabama next weekend, and get on back home and get with our schedule. We got a lot of plans to run with the All-Stars and Outlaws through most of the rest of the summer, with a few off weekends to kind of hit whatever. We kind of tried to make our schedule this year a little easier for our team to get caught back up, to get more competitive. I'm not 20 no more, and I'm okay with that. And so we basically handpicked a schedule that fit our team, fit our partners, and hopefully we get a lot better results. And, that's our goal. Our goal is to go have the ability to win races wherever we go. And, we felt like on Friday we went to the Outlaw show kind of unplanned, because it was in that neck of the woods where we were at. And we were very competitive there, other than that we got to the feature, and we really weren't ready to bolt another set of tires on, and it kind of cost us a little bit. But, we see some light at the end of the tunnel as far as being competitive, and we feel like with the schedule that we come up with, bouncing around more so. Still, the All-Stars are a huge part of our schedule. The Outlaws are a huge part of our schedule. But working with Hercules Tire and our other partners to represent them a little better on the racetrack and take it a little easier on me. Excited to get moving. I know that.
Yeah, I think it's great to have a 90 race schedule like the World of Outlaws do, until you find yourself behind at race number 22 and realize that you've got 68 more and you're behind the 8 ball. So I respect that, and I think that been there, done that, and been part of the sport for so long, Greg. I think that's going to serve you well, and I hope it serves you well and get you up front running more. Well, I'll tell you what, we appreciate the time, getting a chance to chat with you. We appreciate the emotion that you always share with us. We love you as a friend, and of course our partnership we share with you with Hercules Tires. We're so proud of that. But man, does our heart good when we see your smiling face in Victory Lane, and I know we're going to do it more this year. So I appreciate you joining us. Good luck with the back also.
Yeah, man, you guys have no idea what it means to be able to be a part of your show and pay attention to what you guys do for our sport. And I've told you this before, but, I'm just some kid from Benton Ridge that gets to live out his dream driving race cars, and it don't get no better than that.
No, you're right. And I appreciate the fact you understand it and respect it and appreciate it. Thanks, Greg.
Yep, you guys have a wonderful day.
You got it. Greg Wilson joining us there.
Ooh, I need some tissues.
Does not get any better.
I was glad the camera wasn't on me.
I know, there was a few moments there where I'm starting to get a little misty over here.
Yeah.
It was almost as bad as
someone's cutting up some onions in here.
Yeah, someone's cutting onions in here. That's what it was. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I think Lance likely is not quite as emotional.
I think we might get a little technical. Hopefully. I don't know if I can handle two emotional ones today.
Exactly. So, boy, we always appreciate spending some time with Greg Wilson. Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there no matter where the road takes you. Go to HerculesTires.com. There you can find the nearest authorized Hercules retail location to you. Plus, you can use the tire tracker to find out which Hercules tire fits your vehicle the best. That's HerculesTires.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength. For a year-round high-quality eating experience, look no further than Sage Fruit apples, pears, and cherries. Not only is their produce healthy, but they are grown with such care and precision that you can count on each piece of fruit having exceptional flavor. Sage Fruit, it's our first choice for quick and easy snacking. Sunoco is a proud partner of Wing Nation. Not all fuels are created equal, so fill up with Sunoco Ultratech. Sunoco Ultratech is a top-tier detergent gasoline that is proven to make your engine run cleaner, longer, and more efficiently. Using the same detergent package as what is blended into some of Sunoco's high-performance race fuels, you can trust Ultratech for your everyday race. Whether you're headed to the track or just hitting the road, fill up with Sunoco Ultratech and fuel your best. We are in the Hercules Tire Studios in Concord, North Carolina, and we're going to the Dry Dean Hotline, joining us fresh off from another trip to Victory Lane at the Speed Palace. I believe it was the 116th time he has stood on the top podium there, on the top of the stage at the Speed Palace. Lance Dewease joins us. Hello, Lance. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Lance, when you start a new season, how important, how nice, how good is it to knock a win right out in your first time?
It's really good. It's really good to get off to a good start like that. And we were pretty fast all day long, so that was kind of, even we wouldn't have won, I was really happy with how our speed was all day.
Now, Lance, I saw that you had tested our practice the night before, and I wanted to ask you a little bit about that, because I feel like, I mean, it's been, God knows, a long time since I've raced. But those practice nights didn't seem to always be that effective because the racetrack wasn't exactly like it would be for a race. But you said you made some major changes or something like along those lines, that you found some things out. Talk a little bit about what you learn on a practice night when there isn't an actual race going on.
Well, you're right. There's certain places you can't go test. Williams Grove is one place you can't go test, it seems like, because the track's not in a race condition most of the time when you go test.
Mm-hmm.
Port Royal, on the other hand, does a really good job at being more like it is when you race there. And they also, with it being an open practice session, they had, I think, like 60-some cars. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of cars, so there was a lot of laps put down. And so you can learn more things that way and kind of get a good idea on how your car is feeling. Yeah, we did some testing at the end of the year last year at BAPS, testing some different things, and thought we came on to some stuff. And we showed up there to race, and probably the worst we've been there almost since I've been in the car. So there's certain places you can go and certain places you can't. But you just learn some little things. When we went to Arizona, we had some different things on the race car. Then when we come back, we went back to our normal package and kind of tuned that back in, and felt pretty good the whole time there. It was really windy, so it was also, you had to kind of be careful in what you were feeling sometimes.
Lance, when you look at the box score of that race, you started on the pole and you won the race, okay? But Kerry got the advantage. You had to pass Kerry, and you also had to work back in traffic in the heat race. I know you want to go to the track. You want to start on the pole. You don't ever want to see anybody else. You want to do it. But how important was it that you actually got a little behind some other cars? And you guys are always testing and always learning. Is that important to you to also figure out on that first night out that what you can do behind somebody else?
Well, yeah, we didn't draw very well in the heat race and started eighth and ran third, and felt pretty good with our car. And up front, the first start, I had a really good start and got the lead, and then they called that back for somebody jumping farther back in the pack. And the next start, I didn't get a good start. I really didn't know what changed there. I just didn't get a good start, and I was shocked when Kerry come by us because I knew where he started. So I was kind of shocked where he was the one that was passing me, and then we had to chase him, and we were pretty good the whole time in 3 and 4, better than he was in 3 and 4, and it was just a matter of trying to get by him. He's experienced enough that I have to make sure I pass him and stay ahead of him. And we finally got a restart, and I kind of worked the middle of the racetrack a little bit and got a run at him to pass him.
That is impressive. Lance, when you talked about the high winds, how does that affect a sprint car? You think of Port Royal, you got some tall fencing on some side, you got the grandstands, there's not a lot, but how does it affect the car? Is it random that you just feel something and you can't really blame it on the car, that it was just a gust of wind? Like, how do you decipher what was wind, and how does that affect the car in a race?
Well, Port Royal, I've never really raced a whole lot Port Royal. The wind's been affecting the cars a lot, but that practice session that we had, and a little bit on Saturday, the winds were up too, but not as bad. It was blown across from 4 to 3. So it kind of really messed the cars up a little bit through 3 and 4. It wasn't, I don't think, consistent. On the other hand, the Grove on Sunday, were a headwind hard up the back stretch and a tailwind going down the front stretch. But those type of winds, you kind of know, from day one what they do. They do that all the time at the Grove on day shows this time of year. It's always, when it's windy, it's exact same. So it's more predictable on what the car is doing, and you can adjust certain things with driving styles to make the car work to your benefit in some ways. So, but the crosswinds are the ones that, are kind of harder for determine, especially if they're gusting, because one time you might get in the corner, all of a sudden you're real tight because of wind gusts. But it's just one of those things. I just had a weird feel both days at Port when we were practicing on Saturday at times, and I just kind of wrote it off as the wind, not the race car.
You said that you knew it was Kerry Madsen in front of you, and he is a veteran racer, and you knew that you had to make it count. Go a little deeper into that. Why, with a veteran racer, what do you mean by that?
Well, you have to know who you're racing, and you have to know, how important it is if you need to be more aggressive, non-aggressive, certain other cars, if they've been leading, I might not been as concerned about them. Once we get to lap cars or you're later on the race, knowing our car tends to get a little bit better as the race goes. But you put a good race car and a very experienced and excellent race car driver in front of you, and the top's dominant at Port Royal in 1 and 2 more or less every week. You have to make sure when you get the shot to pass him, that you clear him and you get away and don't give him a shot back. Because the first thing you want to do is try to pass him and don't complete the pass. Well, now the guy behind you just got to you. So you really have to make it work. And, we worked it for a couple laps after a restart and got a run where I passed him cleanly, and we didn't get exchanging slide jobs back and forth and killing our momentum and wearing on tires and, all the little stuff that lets somebody else get into the picture.
I love listening to your experience and that you pull that all off during the race. Like it's just so neat to hear you break down a race and all the thoughts that are going through your mind, but you're not even really kind of subconscious. They're just happening. Lance, in Victory Lane. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Oh, I was going to change the subject. I saw where you kind of threw your son under the bus for a bad pill draw, and I was going to ask you if you were superstitious about pill draws, if he always drew for you, what your theory was on the pill.
He never started drawing for me until last year. And the first, I think, 4 or 5 races, like a Port Royal, he drew really good. The last 4 or 5, I don't think he was under 50 draw for anything. And now, fortunately, most of them were time trial shows, so it didn't kill us. So he actually drew a bad pill for the heat race, put me in the back of the heat race, but then he drew the pole for the feature on Saturday. And then on Sunday, he drew me a pole of the heat at the Grove, and then we drew mid-pack. So, but yeah, I'm not superstitious. My race team is. They're very superstitious, but I'm not. I'm a firm believer. It don't matter who draws. It is what it is. You can't change it. So you go and go race.
So How do you, so one of the things we used to talk to Greg Hodnett and I know we still have a couple of months before the Outlaws show up, okay? We used to talk to Greg Hodnett, and I would say, how do you feel like you guys are on outlaw speed? And some years he would say, I think we're good, and sure enough, it'd be a split, or Pennsylvania guys would lead. And other years it'd be like, I don't think we're that good, and sure enough, it would be. I know it's early, and I know you ran out in Arizona a little bit, and I know even Danny ran down in Volusia a little bit. How do you feel at this point in the season as your overall speed goes with your program?
I feel speed-wise, just based off of Arizona and the Port and the Groves, over our speeds there already. We timed pretty good out in Arizona every night. We kind of almost timed too good. We weren't quite the top 3 in time, but we were top 6 in time. But I was constantly that 4th to 6th in time, which put me in a dead spot out there for heat races. But but we had speed, and we had it every night for qualifying, and we were really fast at Port on the clock. We were fast in the feature at the end. Williamsburg, we were fast on the clock, really fast in our heat race. I think our speed's there. It's just a matter, month and a half, 2 months from now when they come in, do we still have it? Track conditions change. Do we still have our speed? Them guys right now are tough.
Yeah.
That's as deep of a field I've ever seen with the Outlaws, as far as cars capable of winning and running up front. Their points battle this year should be really, really fun to watch, because I think it's going to be amazing points chase with everybody that's involved there now. So it's going to be fun. But, where last year we had some things that we've changed during last year that slowed us down a good part of the year, I think. And we kind of fixed that over the winter and fixed that at the end of the year. And I think this year we're kind of back to where we were maybe 2-3 years ago with speed-wise. And I think we have some speed in our cars already, so we'll see how it goes once we get to race a little bit more. A couple weeks we have the All-Stars coming in, which will show us where we're at for real or not.
That sound you hear is the Beer Hill gang icing down beer right now when they hear that Lance feels pretty good about his race car. So, and that's good. And I know there's a lot that's going to happen between now and then, but that's all fun part of what goes on. Well, Lance, we appreciate the time. Always appreciate the way you break things down for us. And I'm fairly confident we'll chat with you frequently throughout the year. So wish you the best as you move forward. And congratulations again on that win at Port Royal.
Well, thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Steve. And hopefully be chatting with you a lot this year.
I hope so, too. Here we go. Lance Dewease. The way his mind works is unreal. There's 2 things that come to mind. A couple years ago, that one race, and I've shared this multiple times, where he said, back in the 90s, you could do this at Port Royal, and I thought it might work. And he drove, and he went like he was on a slot car track right around Dietrich. And I was like, how do you even, and poor Danny Dietrich, we talked about him, he's so young, he doesn't even, he was in the stands cheering for his dad then or whatever. The one last year where he knew he needed to take the air off from Larson's car.
He didn't want to run.
He didn't want to go up there and do that.
But he knew if he ran a certain length off the wall, it was going to mess him up just enough.
Which he did to Kerry after taking the lead off from turn number 4.
And I love him breaking it down. A lot of drivers will do those things. Well, they won't do them. They don't know them yet. But if they do them, it's kind of subconscious. He has the ability to come on our show and break it down that we can understand it.
I knew it was Kerry Madsen in front of me and Mike Barsh in his car.
And you have to know who you're racing with.
So you have to know who you're racing with, that's a good car. And
all that's happening while he's full speed catching him.
Unreal. So it's absolutely in a series of unreal interviews, another one with Lance Dewease that'll be preceded by an unreal run, and will be and if he feels if in 6 weeks, 2 months or whenever that is, about 2 months, if he feels like he has this speed, because Danny feels pretty good about the speed up there too. We could get back to a couple years ago. Last year it wasn't, the Posse versus the Outlaws wasn't all that good.
No.
And I'm telling you what, if the Posse's running with the Outlaws this year, because the Outlaws are stacked and tough. And if Lance is indeed right in foreshadowing that they've got the speed in Pennsylvania, we are going to have...
Well, he said the speed like he had 2 years ago, which was when he won every other race.
We could have a posse versus outlaw year for the ages. I can't even. Heart be still, Twitter be still. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Aggressive Hydraulics provides solutions for virtually every industry that uses hydraulic cylinders. For instance, agriculture, construction, defense, emergency services, energy, food processing, forestry, marine, mining, railway, and even truck equipment. They design and manufacture mobile-style single-stage cylinders as well as multi-stage telescopic cylinders. It's a no one-size-fits-all approach with Aggressive Hydraulics. Check out their story at aggressivehydraulics.com.
Sage Fruit has been a longtime supporter of sprint car racing, sprint car fans, and us here at Wing Nation. What they pride themselves on most is providing shoppers with the highest quality, best tasting apples, pears, and cherries available. Go to sagefruit.com and make sure you ask your local grocer for Sage Fruit.
Circle B Diecast is the new diecast outlet from Plan B Sales. What started as Lionel and Chase Authentics apparel distributor has grown into the largest distributor of diecast and now includes Auto World Greenlight Collectibles, Brand Art, Sam Bass Artwork, and University of Racing lines. They have a huge inventory. The folks at Circle B Diecast love racing and support drivers like Kyle Larson, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Christopher Bell, and many others with sponsorships and partnerships. And on orders over $20, use promo code MRN for free shipping. Check them out, circlebdiecast.com.
One sprint car place out in Knoxville, Iowa is where the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is. Let's get to the birthday calendar. Monday would have been Ralph Capitani's birthday, Marion Robinson, and Danny Smith. There's a picture of Danny Smith. Apparently someone got a pie in his face or a cake in his face because he had cake all over his face. I imagine that. Danny Smith celebrating a birthday. Later this week, Andy Granatelli, Bob Trossel. Today would have been the birthday of 1998 inductee Dean Thompson, born in 1950. And there were times on the CRA Tour out in California, he was unstoppable. Smooth and consistent as a race car driver. A 1972 Rookie of the Year and a three-time CRA champion. The epic battles at Ascot with Bubby Jones, Ron Schumann, Gary Patterson, Leland McSpadden, and others are lore for the ages out in California, and they are forever enshrined in turn number 2 at Knoxville Raceway in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. He passed away at a young age, 53, passed away in 2003. You can support the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. They've got a Z51 Corvette. Elkhart Lake Blue Metallic LT3 Corvette. And they're doing a drawing for that, Erin.
Yep, August 14th, right before the A feature at the Knoxville Nationals. You can go to www.winaz51corvette.com.
Yep, that is cool. Good stuff. Man, I'll tell you, I love the history of the sport and the stories out there. That is for sure. Wing Nation apparel is available on wingnation.com. But stay tuned. We're working on our 10th anniversary stuff.
Big doings.
We should have, big doings, that's for sure. Coming up on a Thursday podcast presented by Dry Dean and DRF Oils, Dominic Selzy. Chatty young lad from California. We'll see what's going on in Dominic's world. And this weekend on Wing Nation on our television program presented by Sage Fruit, it was ladies' night. It was you and Ashley doing the shows.
Yipper.
And you had a little sunshine there joining you, Tyler Courtney,
Yes.
as he gears up for his All-Star season. Neat stuff. That is on Rev TV and on Mav TV. Thank you to Greg Wilson and to Lance Dewease. But more important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires.